Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs have won the SEC East 4 times in the last 5 years, and the way they're playing right now, it doesn't look like that's going to slow down anytime soon. So a question I had in my mind, how many years are we going to see Georgia dominate in the SEC and in the Eastern Conference at least? And that's what this video is all about. But first I want to talk to you about DAWGSTRUCTION. It is the book that Dean Legge has been writing, working really hard on. Some of the best photos you will ever see from this past 2021 season are in this book. We've got summaries of the games. If you have a big Georgia fan in your life, or if you're watching this and want to relive all the moments from the championship season, make sure you go out and get this book. I can't wait to see it myself. We've worked really hard on this and shot the game from a lot of different angles. So I'm excited to see the final product, and I want to make sure that y'all go out and get it as well. So Georgia won the SEC East again in dominating fashion last year. They'll probably do it again this year, but my question is, who is going to take the next step? Right now, Kentucky is the best or second best team in the SEC East. Florida getting rid of Dan Mullen. They're in rebuild mode with Billy Napier. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be pretty good for them next year. I think he's QB1 right now in the spring. Moving forward, who knows what they're going to look like? I don't think they're going to be the number 2 team in the East. It could be Kentucky again with Will Levis. And I think Rodriguez is coming back for a final season. I'm not really sure on that. I should have checked before starting this. But they play tough, physical football. They've got a quarterback who knows what he's doing. Mark Stoops knows what he's doing. And right now, they're beating Tennessee and South Carolina on a regular basis. Now Florida. And right now, they've got that number 2 spot. Tennessee, Hendon Hooker coming back for his Super 6 year, I believe that's correct. He's got some weapons. Jabari Small really came on, was great against Purdue in that bowl game. Josh Heupel knows what he's doing. I think Tennessee is, has a green arrow going up. But none of these teams are beating Georgia anytime soon. Georgia's too deep, too talented. Kirby has this machine rolling right now. They're not losing to Tennessee next year. They're not going to lose to Spencer Rattler in South Carolina, who appear to be heading in the right direction. If you have South Carolina buddies, I think most of them were very happy with how the season ended. They have a quarterback now who has experience. They have a running game, and they've got plenty of talent on defense returning. So Shane Beamer, I think, knows what he's doing. They played really well towards the end of that year, except getting blanked by Clemson. They can't do that again. But South Carolina is a place where Tennessee is right now. Who's going to take that next step and beat the other one on a consistent basis, get ahead of Kentucky, beat them consistently, and maybe knock off Georgia, not anytime soon, but down the road. But I don't think anyone's going to rival Georgia for the East for some time now. And if Georgia can consistently go through the regular season undefeated, I know that's crazy to say. They're not going to do that every single year, but there's a chance they could do it again pretty soon, maybe next year. I don't think they're going to lose to first-year Billy Napier in Florida. I don't think they're going to lose to Tennessee at home. I don't think they're going to lose to South Carolina. I think they're going to beat Oregon and Bo Nix, a guy they're familiar with. Of course, Dan Lanning and Bo Nix over there. Georgia's going to take care of business there. Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz has Connor Bazelak coming back, but it seems like they're towards the bottom, barely above Vanderbilt right now. But Florida has to get to the point sooner than later to get to number 2 and start rivaling Georgia. That's really the only team that I think Georgia fans are saying maybe if the Billy Napier thing works, Florida could get back to where they were, consistent top 10 program, and making that game in Jacksonville consistent again. I mean, Georgia's won that game. Again, 17, 18, 19. Florida had their magical year, still lost 4 games in 2020, but they beat Georgia. And then we saw what happened last year as well. Georgia is taking control of that rivalry, and I don't think they're going to let that up anytime soon either. They're not going to lose to second-year Shane Beamer early on. I know it's in Columbia, but Spencer Rattler hasn't seen anything close to what Georgia can bring to the table defensively, even if they're losing all those guys, like I talked about in the video earlier this week. This Georgia defense is still going to be no joke next year, and Stetson Bennett has proved that he can beat anyone on the schedule. He's going to have to do more offensively because I don't think the defense is going to be as elite as it was. It's still going to be very good, and he still doesn't have to necessarily win games with his arm. But just don't turn over the football and be careful with it, establish a run game, and they're going to be just fine against South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, again, and Florida. So I don't think Kentucky's going to ever get to the point where they can win the East, especially consistently. But who knows? Maybe Georgia finds some wacky year where they slip up. But as long as Kirby Smart is running the show in Athens, they're going to be, one of the teams year in, year out being picked to win the SEC East, and deservedly so. So Florida has to get back to where they were. Tennessee has to climb back. South Carolina's in that mode too. So the number 2 spot in the East is up for grabs. It's not going to be Kentucky forever. Can Tennessee scratch and claw their way back towards that number 2 spot and compete with Georgia? Is South Carolina going to do that first? Is Florida going to overtake both of them and give Georgia more of a game than those two will? Again, maybe Georgia gets upset like they did in 2019 against South Carolina one of these years, but they're a complete team now, and you have to have an elite quarterback if you're going to beat Georgia. You're not going to do it with your third string. You're not going to do it with your quarterback throwing 3 interceptions like Jake Fromm did back then. But ever since that upset loss to South Carolina at home, they've lost to really, really good quarterbacks. And I don't see anyone in the East having a quarterback capable of doing that to a Georgia defense that's going to be very, very good year in and year out, as long as Kirby Smart is there and Glenn Schumann and all those other guys. But Kirby knows what he's doing. The talent isn't going anywhere. They're always going to be the most talented team in the SEC East for the next few years. There's no one who's going to out-recruit Kirby Smart. Now, Jimbo Fisher's trying to do that over there at Texas A&M, and Nick Saban is doing it consistently at Alabama. But Georgia should run the East for the next few years unless Billy Napier really is the guy and turns it around quickly. Shane Beamer looks to be the right hire for South Carolina, but I don't think he's going to take that program and get it to where they can rival Georgia year in and year out. And Josh Heupel, while it looks like he knows what he's doing, at least more than Jeremy Pruitt and the guys before him, I don't think Tennessee is ever going to get in a spot in the next few years to rival Georgia and really compete with them. Georgia's beaten their brains out recently, and they did it last year with ease. I think they should be able to do it again in 22. And beyond, if Georgia really gets it together again and get things clicking, they should be running the East for the next few years. So am I crazy? Can Florida get back sooner than I think? And, is South Carolina or Tennessee going to take that next step? Is Kentucky going to be the number 2 team in the East for the next few years? Let me know in the comments section. Love hearing from you guys. Thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on the website.